Hello and welcome. I'm Vijay Srinivasan and this is Talking Sense with Srini. 5 states, one election season, and a flood of exit poll numbers that leaves us all with more questions than answers. In Tamil Nadu, a film star may have rewritten the script entirely. In Kerala, an old pattern may be repeating or may not be. In Bengal, the numbers are pointing at something historic, if you believe them. And in Assam, the verdict looks settled even before it's even declared. We'll get into all of it, but we'll also ask the bigger question, are exit polls even reliable lens to look through anymore? And joining us as usual is our editor-in-chief, S Srinivasan. Let's start with Tamil Nadu first, and that's been the talking point across social media today. The exit polls are wildly split on actor Vijay's TVK there. Access My India gives it 98 to 120 seats, while Matrace puts it at just 10 to 12 seats. So what explains this extraordinary divergence? Pollsters are not really equipped to model a debutant?
Well, it's a pretty complex election this time, and you would have heard analysts often saying that before
Every election is a complex
that
election.
in India it's very difficult to predict the outcome of an election, and it is becoming intrinsically more difficult because of so much of social media, so much of noise you hear about elections. You really don't know how it is going to pan out, and also the fact that there are a lot of fake news also going around, and political parties themselves are very active in this social media, and it actually multiplies. And it is not now restricted only to urban pockets. Even in rural India, people have mobile phones, and in a state like Tamil Nadu, where mobile penetration is large, and all these other states like Kerala and all, it's pretty difficult. And elections have becoming more and more complex now to find. Having said this, let's come to what you're saying about Tamil Nadu, whether TVK is actually able to make a dent the way one outlier poll, which you mentioned.
That's right, yeah.
All others are predicting in one direction,
DMK
which is
sweep.
basically the DMK.
I think there's one poll which suggests an NDA sweep.
Exactly. So, one poll
the
said
JVC, yeah.
largely the majority of them are saying that DMK is going to come back. And one has said that no, it's ADMK, and the other one is completely opposite of all this, which could turn around the entire election, which is saying that TVK is going to not just come
But the
with
form
a
of government.
major majority of votes, but also form a government. Now, how do we look at it?
Yeah.
See, it's very, I would say that this outlier is a very unlikely scenario. I mean, this is again a caveat because after all, these are, only exit
But
polls.
the same outlier says they've got 80% of, being right in terms of calling the winner.
Well, they also see in psephology, there is no, it's not an actual science. And, these percentages are very difficult to gauge. The same person who, who gave such a verdict completely went wrong in 2024.
That's right, yeah.
Parliamentary elections. So, and he actually
He in
cried
fact cried on live
television.
TV, yeah.
So, we really don't know whether he's going to cry this time or he's going to dance. But let us look at more analytically. If TVK even wins, earlier people were saying they can only give 8 to 10% votes, which is what Vijay got in his first outing, around 8% vote. I mean Vijay Kant. I'm referring to the DMDK
Captain Vijay Kant.
Vijay Kant.
Yeah.
And in the second outing, he got more votes and also a lot of seats, about 35 or some. So I may be wrong with numbers. I'm just giving an idea, largely. The thing here is that all these past examples may not hold true also, because the situation has changed. Vijay is, I'm talking about TVK Vijay, is far more charismatic, and he appeals to youth. So there are only two possibilities: that if what Access My India says is correct, that Tamil Nadu people are really tired of this ADMK versus DMK binary, and they think time to get out of all this and let's go for a third place. And obviously they're not very impressed with BJP saying that, look, we are arrived, we are something different. So these two national parties, they are not very, whether it is Congress or whether it is BJP, they don't seem to be, very confident of them that they could perform the way they want they want governance in Tamil Nadu. So therefore, are they throwing in their lot with TVK is a big question. Now, people are giving examples of N.T. Ramarao. I heard some national TV, national so-called national channels, because they come out of Delhi, claiming that, it could be like what NTR did. People are forgetting that NTR traveled, he had his own Rath, and he was on the Rath for nearly 10 to 11 months. He campaigned heavily, he met people. There was a powerful news baron behind the whole thing. Every day there were headlines about him, and he fought on a very powerful, Telugu identity cause. Here, TVK, we haven't seen anything like that. In fact, his first outing, major outing in Karur went in a disaster, ended up in a disaster where about 42 people were, 41. They were killed, So then after that, he didn't even, in fact, even during his campaign right now, he did not go to that spot.
Yeah.
He did not even visit. So but the crowds keep coming to him. He had a major, this thing. Let's, for a minute, let's look at which are the places he actually campaigned. It was Chennai and its neighboring. This is one place where he intensively campaigned for
Lots
3
of regions
days.
within Chennai, yeah.
Then he went to Tirunelveli, which is in south. There Tirunelveli in Thoothukudi, he campaigned there for 1 day. And Tirupur, which is in the west and near Coimbatore. So he went there for a day. He went to Tiruchi for a day, and Tiruchi is where he is contesting his second.
The second seat, yeah.
So except Perambur, where he is contesting, which is a part of Chennai,
North
Chennai constituency, he went there for a day. And he in fact did a more intense campaign of house to house. He went to few houses, indulged in some
Rangoli
activity.
and all that.
Yeah, Rangoli and all, indulged in some activity. Other than that, he has just been crossing all these places, just 1 day each, and Chennai around 3 days. Whether this can be extrapolated as a massive wave in his favor, that's a big question, which means people of Tamil Nadu are really, really unhappy. Are we trying to say is that Dravidian politics and their ideology, which has been running for last more than a century?
Yeah.
And
75 years of the DMK.
But I'm talking of the entire movement. And then are you trying to say a shootout of that, which is AIDMK, which is now again nearly 50 years? Are these guys are obliterated by few visits of an actor who hasn't clarified what his ideology or what he intends to do.
Largely unorganized.
And these are cadre-based parties. They have their own powerful cadres. These two, AIDMK, DMK. Are we trying to say that all this is all gone, and someone who has come up who hasn't even traveled the way his predecessors have? I would say that if this Vijay is far more charismatic than DMDK Vijay Kant, Captain Vijay Kant, then MGR, the former chief minister, and also Jayalalitha, who were his predecessors, far more charismatic than this current Vijay. MGR is far exceeds all this. He actually, in an age of not much of communication, he could mobilize people. So if all this is false and there is something which has happened, then truly all of us have completely failed in judging what is happening on the ground. And I would specifically say all journalists who have been traveling and coming back and saying that, look, the situation is not... Vijay has emerged as a third force. He is challenging. He is a challenger. In future, he may actually form a government. He could become a chief minister. But in the current, with such a short notice of 3 days, which is his largest outing, 1 day each here and there, whether that has made a difference is a very big question mark.
So shifting focus to neighbouring Kerala. Kerala always had this pattern of alternating governments for a very long time. Most exit polls project UDF winning 70 to 75 seats, while the ruling LDF may trail with 60 to 65 seats. You think there is a structural difference in this, or is this more of a rotation?
No, again, Kerala is pretty interesting election. You cannot call it just a turnstile election where now LDF is going out and UDF is coming in. We can't just say simply, because this is a very significant election as far as Kerala is concerned, because it could dramatically alter going ahead in the future. It may not have happened now, but it may lay grounds for what might happen in the future. Why I am saying this, because Obviously, LDF has done, which was unthinkable in Kerala, a run for 2 consecutive terms. If they have done a third one, that would have been a complete, again, Pinarayi would have stood out at somebody, a colossal who cannot be defeated, something very, very different. But then it didn't happen. We don't know yet whether the exit poll turns out correct. But then if most observers, if you see and if you read reports, it appears that yes, UDF may come back to power. But then people might have chosen UDF. Is it a powerful choice they have, or is it because they want a change and there is no alternative, and that's why they have voted for UDF? Why I'm saying, because both have been pretty divided house. UDF have been pretty divided over the question of chief ministership.
That's right.
Even now we don't know who's
we
going to
don't
be.
know.
There could be a fight. Even after winning, they may actually make a mess.
VD Satishan, KC Venugopal,
Exactly.
Ramesh Chenitala.
And they may create a spectacle of what they are doing. They may still do. This certainly reduces the confidence of the electorate. But as far as social equations are concerned, there is seem to be if this is true, minority consolidation, both Muslims and Christians move towards
what do you think
traditionally. It could have happened because of various factors. Whereas on the other hand, communists, which interestingly, communists themselves face some dissent within. If you recall, our own reporter Rajiv reported from there how a handful of dissidents from the left, actually one or two actually gone and contested as a BJP candidates. So it's unthinkable of that, the extreme position from left to right. And if you read Shashi Tharoor, who has written a piece, and I mean he has written in Indian Express almost as if he is an independent writer, saying that these two formations, LDF and UDF, that there is he's lamenting for the fact that identity politics have entered Kerala in a large way. Basically, what he's trying to say is the educated class of the community in Kerala was away from all this, but it is turning out that identity politics has become so strong, and especially when issues like Sabarimalai, where the left itself were worried about its impact and had to tweak its own strategy on that, and the fact that you have Shashi Tharoor writing that identity politics is gradually taking over the politics overall in Kerala, and these are worrying signals. Whether the whole identity is changing. BJP may not have succeeded much electorally, but more important than that is how the ground is changing there. And this election would actually determine whether the ground is shifting. And the big question mark over the left also, whether how left party managed to rediscover itself being in opposition for next 5 years. How they're going to do that. So it's going to be pretty important. So this exit polls, be as it may, even if UDF is back in power, there are a lot of question marks, if and buts, which is going to happen in Kerala. And watching Kerala politics is going to be extremely important in the coming years.
And no account for the Bharatiya Janata Party. That's the exit polls say.
BJP, may not have got any seats right now. They made a huge noise, song
After
and dance
after the
mayoral election. They said now it's like this, that
Ahmedabad.
Well, I put it in a different way. If you have to have a cricketing analogy, you can say that, look, I'm just about to hit a century, but I was still in the crease, having scored only 1 run.
Looks like I heard it somewhere. Subramanian Swami.
Exactly. So he did say that when he won his election in an interview, he said, I'm just short of 99. Yeah. This sounds like that.
Okay.
So BJP has to cover a lot of grounds. But what is certainly more important here is there a mind shift which is happening in Tamil Nadu. Electorally, people are beginning to think of other ways of, casting their vote. And that's important there.
All right. In West Bengal, exit polls put BJP at around 155 seats in the 294 seat house, just past the majority mark of 148. On paper, it looks like it's the end of Mamata Banerjee, according to the exit poll prediction there. But Bengal has made fools of pollsters before. How much credibility do these numbers actually have?
See, there is a very, very important thing which has happened in West Bengal. Normally, what happens is if you look at previous elections, it was basically at BJP's attempt. This is their, they have this favorite formula of trying to polarize.
Yeah.
Now, this time they didn't do it so outwardly. Rather, they adopted different tactics. Now, two issues played a crucial role there. One is SIR, and the other is with special intensive review. And you would now say it's not BJP, it is actually Election Commission.
That's right.
And you can't bring either BJP or central government into it. So how are you doing? I mean, that's a valid question.
It's an autonomous
But the
body.
allegation is that each and every politician who is in opposition nationally and there are saying that EC is no longer an independent body. It is actually acting almost as
On behalf
another.
of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
An institution, the allegations, if you read some serious columnists, they are suggesting that another institution has been hollowed out, and other institution, if you know, it's CBI, ED, those after this. Now this is a new institution which is now not a new institution. I mean, it's another institution which is falling. Having said that, what would have been the attempt or a design? If you were listening to Yogendra Yadav or others from the state, from Trinamool party, they are saying that it is being done by design. An attempt is being made to change the demography. But if you want to discount all this, look at mere facts that about nearly 99 lakh people won't be, they have been removed as a result of SIR. And, a lot number of them were removed because of, right reasons, that either they are dead or they have moved or they were duplicate, enrollment. So those things apart. What is more glaring is about 27 lakh people who are still at an adjudication stage, and since Supreme Court intervened and then they formed these panels, these continued till the almost last day when even polling has started. Normally, electoral roll should be prepared much in advance, at least a month in advance. That has been the convention. This went up till the last day. So many people couldn't vote. Now, how is this played out? That's what we have to say. The second thing is unprecedented amount of central forces who have been deployed for law and order situation. Now, apparently 2,500 companies. It's, almost matches the kind of deployment which you would find in Jammu Kashmir at least. So, in fact, that made a politician to comment that is Bengal being put under siege. So, how people are reacting to these two is an
You
important.
also had the UP Singham police officer.
Yeah, so those are individual examples. But I'm saying how these two have played out in this election. One, SIR, if I have to believe the people in the BJP and other, SIR actually cleaned up. It's a neat exercise, and people have liked it because civil society hasn't come out protesting against it with blazing guns. So possibly that's what, and the opposition is only making song and dance about it. There isn't much element in what they are saying. So be as it may, if you take this argument, then whether SIR has actually helped BJP or it has boomeranged, that's the question. The other fallout of this SIR is a whole lot of people. I mean, people are reporting from Delhi saying that some of their domestic helps and other people whom they know, people at the margins, they all have rushed back to Bengal just to ensure
They cast their vote.
That they cast their vote, because many of them worried that they may be disenfranchised, they may actually even lose citizenship. That's the kind of fear it has. So whether this fear, if you have about 27 to 30 lakh people, they are themselves, as somebody told me in an interview yesterday, that look, They actively campaign against BJP. Imagine more and more such people. So whether this whole thing turns in favor of TMC or against it, is it enough to beat their anti-incumbency, which has been there, because it will be a record fourth term if she actually wins. So that's one question. The second thing is this imposing, major, central forces. Now, one thing is very clear, whether these exit polls, as you correctly asked, is it true? Can we believe it? Yeah. One exit poll has actually said that, we couldn't, Access My India, the one who predicted TVK's victory, has said that, no, we are not going to say much on Bengal because
it's going to be a tight contest.
No, not many people are coming out and saying what they want to say, because people are silent about it. And so the question here is, when people are silent, they are obviously don't want to reveal. Are they silent because they're scared of TMC in power? Because often if the ruling party is going to lose and they voted against it, they wouldn't like to speak. But the other question is, are they now scared of central forces? They don't want to speak? We really don't know, because it's going to be deployed for another few months there, as Amit Shah, our Home Minister, has announced, which is true. We don't know. So these two factors are going to play a very important role, and which way they're going to play out, nobody knows. So these are two extra layers which are added to this particular election in West Bengal, and therefore it has become very difficult to suggest what might happen. But from most outcome of exit polls, it suggests that Mamta is returning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In the neighboring Assam, some sweet news for Hemant Biswa Sharma. Exit polls have predicted that he's staring at a hat-trick victory there. Isn't this something that we expected already?
Yeah, so two places, Assam and Kerala, more or less journalists expected that this is going to be a turnout. Assam specifically because, Hemanta has been at it for a long time. If I have to recall something what Hemant Biswa Sharma said, the current Chief Minister of Assam, 2 years ago, he did say that, he's not going to seek votes from Muslims. Basically, he's saying 40% of Muslim population in Assam, I don't need their support. Which means, with the majority support, he's so confident that with 60% of Hindu votes, he will be able to win the elections. Now, this is a very dangerous statement a chief minister had to make. But then, he typically, while communalizing, the population, he said, the argument which he gave, why he's saying that, because he said, look, in the past, Congress has been fooling these people, had not been giving what is required, roads, electricity, other welfare schemes, central schemes are not being transferred, and using them as vote banks. I don't want to use them as vote banks. I want to empower them by giving all this, and then after that I will seek their votes. I think it's very disingenuous, this argument. Mm-hmm. But he also throws in some issues which, minorities some of them may not be very happy, saying that, look, I'm going to convert madrasas, which are actually not educating into schools. I'm going to empower girl children so that they don't drop out of schools. This may apply across, not just minority Muslims. It may also, these things could be applicable to peoples on the margins, even from Hindus. Basically, fallout of what happened after the Assam Accord. Mm-hmm. Those things have been happening there. A lot of people were also found to be Hindus. Mm-hmm. When they say that, and non-Assami Bengalis. Mm-hmm. So the demography is very different. He's suggesting these things. He's been polarizing for a while. So it appears that he might have come back. But whether he's going to come back with absolute majority of his own is a big question. Because there has been some dissonance within BJP as well. And he may come back as a BJP plus, but not alone. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what people from the ground are suggesting.
That's exit polls also suggest.
Yeah, so on his own, he may not. And it is possible that on his own, BJP, what we had to watch closely, last time there are 60 seats, whether he manages to win back those 60 or the tally falls below that. The Congress, on the other hand, had missed opportunity. I mean, they, as usual, they failed. And opposition, as usual in India, in large parts of India, is divided and they are failing. And Congress party did not go as per reports from there. And I, in fact, spoke to a reporter there before coming to the show, that he said one of the biggest problems with the Congress leaders is they don't even meet up their block level workers, panchayat level workers, or workers at the grassroots. They just go superficially, give some lectures and go back. And that's not how the elections are organized, especially when the rival is so powerful and so well organized. So I think that's the story of Assam. And therefore, Hemanta Biswa's BJP may come back, but then these are the caveats.
All right, so one last question there. Net, if you really look at the exit poll prediction, the bottom line is all these polls seem fractured today. So as someone who has covered the Indian elections for about decades, are exit polls in India getting better or getting worse? Should really people be investing time and looking at all of this? Take it seriously?
Yeah, I think you missed out one small state,
Puducherry,
where I think more or less it's a given that NDA is coming back
That's
to
right,
power.
yeah.
Basically, it is led by NRC, All India.
I think the interesting bit is TVK vote share is going up there.
Yeah, so that's an academic thing which we have to see how much it. But yeah, more or less that's how it seems. There's a larger game plan BJP has for South, for West, for East. Beg your pardon. So it's moving in that direction. So in Puducherry,
Saffronization.
yeah, Puducherry has been a
Laboratory, we have been calling
laboratory, as it has been called. So truly they have managed to do that. Now let's come back to your question of overall question of whether one should really trust exit polls. See, psephology on its own, it's not a proven science yet. There is sampling, which is a big question mark. How much of samples actually these pollsters try, go and speak to people? How do they frame their questions? Third is how people respond to them. For instance, this time, as I told you, many pollsters are quite worried about West Bengal because the people are simply not responding. And there is a big problem is people are responding, but they're lying. They don't want to tell the truth. So they are now gaming the exit polls also. So it has become extremely important. You have, some of the big pollsters of India decided not to do that. They have quit the game, saying that, we are going to, one of them is the most prominent and the man who actually established all this is, Pranay Roy. He has decided not to get into this at all. Then you have Ashok Lahiri, all those people used to do in the past. The other one is Sea Voter. He has decided that he will do polls but only give percentages, not going to extrapolate and say how many number of seats. For instance, if you were to look at Access India, has given the same number of 35% vote share both to DMK and to TVK. But then they are saying TVK may get more number of seats. It is possible, very much possible. Same vote share, different seats possible, because in the first past post system and the way the demography is, if it is concentrated in few constituencies where it, so it may happen that way also. So it's a very complex situation. So, but it has got a great entertainment value. It has a great value for journalists like us because, it gives a great opportunity for people to go to TV studios and come to forums like you and give endless punditry. I think that's all where it stands. I don't think it has really any other value than this. Unlike what happens abroad in other countries, where it's only bipolar, our systems are well organized, and the populations are more homogeneous. I mean, it becomes easy to predict. India is a pretty complex country. Every 100 kilometers, things change here. The water changes, color of soil changes, everything changes, culture changes, people's attitude changes. Therefore, it's pretty tough to predict these things. And hats off to these
pollsters
who have done this, who really sticking their neck out.
We really wish that they dance and not cry this time. So thank you very much. Very insightful talking to you. Thank you.